Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Usually Fridays have been very choppy. Let's see how today is going to turn out. Come and draw my overnight range. Looks like London was selling off, but then we recovered all of that. Market's still selling off, especially after the news yesterday. Been good and bad. Good because we are ranging here to trade between ranges. Yesterday we saw huge ups and down. I was positive on the day here, thought that up here we took a long, seeing that we're in the overnight range going up to top here. I was hoping for it come and tap the high of the overnight range, but what ended up happening is right at that resistance level, supply level, we sold off. Came right back into the opening range and took my stops here. Closed the day. Wasn't really excited about it. And then we just sold off completely. But before doing that, there was a lot of chop, quick moves down, reversing it literally right that second, and then coming back down. These are big kill candles. Hard to know what market direction is. And then once we broke the low of the opening range, we kept selling off, and then we kind of recovered as well. So it's just been ranging this zone. But today we saw nice big range for the overnight, especially more than yesterday. Tells me that there's volume in the market, and it's Friday, almost 190 points range. Friday, so we just had a bit careful. Cool. I got my anchored VWAP from yesterday, trading right at it or just near it. Let's see if we break above or below. No bias or direction at the moment. Turn on some settings on the top here. Kind of setting my daily loss limit to 500, and then I'll close the day. And my daily profit or loss tracker here. Normally I turn them off because I want to trade prices. I think it can be helpful, especially for prop firms where risk management is so tight and you have to learn to walk away. You can learn the hard way or the easy way. Historically, I've always learned from my mistakes and making my own mistakes. That's just how I operate. So market's opening in about 3 minutes. All these ranges are coming into play, and about 60-point difference between those ranges. So let's see. Not much to say today. Just being patient. Taking that small win or small loss, smaller loss, small win, or good nice win, or no trade. I have to hone in that discipline and kind of get those reps in as well. Sit on my hands and not touch the mouse. Let the market play out. Find something interesting like a key level hold break or trend line break. Might get in, take my 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, whatever the market's giving me. But yesterday was a bit gnarly. A lot of my profit positions were closing a loss. At one point I was up like 500 on this position and I closed it at break even. The other time I was 450 or 400 in a profit position and I didn't trail the stop and I closed break even. The reason I didn't trail the stops because I've been stopped out break even or at a smaller points for a lot of times, a lot of sessions. So I was just being very patient, profits, and letting the market play out. Maybe that was too patient. The trade direction or the market read was pretty good, but management could have been way better. Maybe taking some contracts off the table, locking some profits in, and letting some runners. So that's where we're at. All right, market just open. Looks like it's breaking that trend line. Could be a fake out. NQ loves to do that. Grab liquidity and move the other way. Some action going on now. Good volume today. Not finding for any reasons market to give me so I can't trade. Want to find reasons to trade today, like yesterday. But it's going to be a few scalps, 1 or 2. Come and draw the opening range, high of the first 15-minute. See where the lows end up. That we're flirting with the right at VWAP. Not much you can do at this point. It's all 50-50. Very small probability. We want the market to prove itself. We don't want to get in the chop unless there's like a quality setup or a retest. Let's find out. and there's not much volume in the first 15 minutes, that usually, not always, dictates that it's going to be a choppy day, not clear direction. And when there's a lot of volume in the first 15 minutes, that usually dictates that it's going to be a direction or a trend day. That's what I've noticed in the past few sessions. They're interested to see how today plays out. All right. Like trying to move to the upside. Range keeps getting extended.
Order filled.
See if we can get a quick scalp here. Very risky right at the limit, but it looks like there's strong volume and might push through. So that was the trend line break as well. Take out. Literally top ticked it. See if we can extend the range. Not looking very promising. I get stopped out on this one. Not very hopeful. We'll find out. Couple pushes can definitely go tap the top of the range and see if we can reclaim that level for sellers, but needs a retest right at the top of the overnight range as well. So that gives me confluence that we might break out. I went before the confirmation hit because usually the first 15 minutes trades are pretty quick. Points of drawdown. That would have been a nicer entry right at the trend line, honestly. But you never know. Like we're pushing. Break here, price will just magnet up there. And I want to lock in my profits right here. Even it can go above, right at this level. I can quickly reverse, and market's been reversing so hard that I just want to lock something in. Oh, looks pretty good. A lot of volume. Gonna keep trailing my limit. Trying to reach my profit target there, but I want a little bit more. Not being greedy, just looking at the volume and following it. Stops break even. Like we'll break through. Opening range looks pretty good. Nice break. Like so. Beautiful. By a tick.
Order filled.
Very nice. Quick scalp. And can easily go higher up to here, but what happened to me yesterday, price reversed too many times too quickly to react, and there's a 50% line is right here as well. My order was right below it, and we could see a pullback and potential re-entry, or we can just go and tap 346 level. But look what happened yesterday. We went above, and then it was a quick kill candle, especially here as well. Quick kill candles, big wicks. So I don't want to get caught in that. So it's good to lock the profit, especially in the first 15 minutes of the day. Usually I don't trade the first 15 minutes, but the setup was looking A+. Broke the trend line, saw good volume. I had an early entry here, so about 10 points of drawdown. But this would have been a nicer entry right here. But or wait for this 15-minute or 5-minute to close, and then entering again here or roughly there. So would have just seen some nice pushes. So right where we got out, it's seeing a lot of resistance. So I would say it was a nicer exit, maybe a couple of points earlier, but you never know. Good to lock something in. Go from there. Kind of becomes deja vu. Take the same setup every day. You just adapt a little bit, like your trade management side. If the market's not choppy, if it's kind of breaking out. Now we're seeing the first 15-minute. It's a nice range, but tells me it's going to be a trend day. Also, saw lots of volume overnight, about 190 points. It tells me that it's going to be correction, especially after we went and tapped the lows here. We found strong buys and price kind of reverse. Tells me that all this move could correct. Tried to do it yesterday and failed. Been trying to do it once, twice, trying to break this level. Maybe it's going to go and break it today or sell off. But if it breaks that level today, we're seeing 415 level or 4800s. All right. That's the first 15 minutes. That's a nice long trade here if it's breaking that range. So maybe I missed it, but we might get another entry. Risk to reward is little for me here. If I put a stop here right below, let it run, that could be a nice trade. Let's calculate. Stops can be about 8 points and about 27 points. Yeah, but it could reverse as well. This could be a fake out. I come back below here and find support from this region. And this will be a better entry. Roughly in 2300s. Looks like it's rallying. So this is what I'm looking at. Market's going to come potentially. Oh, there you go. That's the pullback. I was just going to draw my eclipse right here. And it just did exactly that. So that's a better entry. But seeing that it's getting sucked back into the range, might just come and get sucked back into here as well. But regardless, this is a good entry. We're looking for a bull move. Don't want to get caught with a gnarly kill candle. We'll wait for this candle close. Got to be very quick in this market. If I just quickly took a trade here, I've been 15 points in profit, 18 points. That's bad. But it could go either way. So we want it to close at least above the range. Because if it's between this range, it could just chop around and easily come back down. Seeing that overall trend for this month has been downwards. Powell's speech was at 9 o'clock. time. So market's probably reacting to might rally. Maybe with a positive market's looking at it positively. You never know. Sometimes the news is positive and the market's just gonna sell off. Sometimes the news is shite and market receives it positive way. So fundamentals don't really play a part when it comes to intraday. They're due to a certain degree that you know the volume's gonna be coming in if there's a key event. Everyone's going to be watching their charts, managing positions. But in terms of the market's going to go up or down, I don't really think that it plays a big part. Apart from if there's something like COVID, where there was just a huge move down for a couple of weeks, market just sold off like 20-30%, and I was sitting through it as well. And there were halts. A halt in the market, if the market rallies down at least 10%, 5% or so, 10%, it halts for like 5 minutes. And then it reopens. And usually it gaps down or gaps up. So, all right, looks like we rallying. Hoping for it to close above. Even this is not a bad entry, but I don't want a top ticket.
Order filled.
Like so. See if we can get here, and stop's just going to be 15 points, 1:1 trade or so. Just to try to catch the momentum. Looks very strong. Not the best entry, but this would have been a nicer entry after the close, but literally at the same place, same point. Don't want to get caught in a kill candle as well. Yesterday at this point, 23.46 was a resistance level, strong resistance. If we break through it quick today, that means there's volume and we might go see 23.400s, but let's see. Don't want to get my hopes up. Again, this would have been a nicer entry here. I jumped the gun on that one, seeing about 10 points of drawdown. I need to work on those. So, but if price action is good, momentum is good, and prices will hold, we won't see a lot of chop, and it will just rally up. This is a nicer entry for anyone who didn't get or jump the gun. Like I might get stopped out because stop's too tight. But looks like we're holding that level anyway, so good. So it might flip to the upside. A way better entry there. So close to hitting my stop. Like a tick away. Maybe I got saved by the bell. Poor entry there. This would have been a nicer entry, but I was looking for that momentum to continue like so. I was hoping this would happen. Like a big wick. So we might just wick out and play it higher. Doesn't look too good at the moment.
Order filled.
And stopped us out. Poor execution on my part. Should have waited for the candle close, which I did. And even if I entered here, my stop would have been there. Could have avoided about 10 points of drawdown, but looks like it's stopping. Took a lot of liquidity there. That means that's the strong resistance level like yesterday. Sellers are coming in heavy. I'll give it another go right there. because we saw this big wick. And this is not FOMO. This is just seeing that big wick. Rejection means buyers are supporting this level. And this was just an extended stop loss run. My stop's going to be back here, same place. And see if we can rally higher. Doesn't look too good. I move my stop to touch. Don't want to get wicked out.
Order filled.
Yeah, that's terrible. Doesn't look too good there. Strong resistance at this point. Gave up a lot of profits for the day. So, right at the overnight range or in that support region. Looks like that break was a fake out. My stops are too tight. Absolutely.
Order filled.
I'm going to try shorting it here. Flip the narrative. See if we can come and tap the lower ranges. Could be completely wrong, but worth a try. We're already break even on the day. Looks like this was a fake out. And we could easily flip. Sometimes you have to flip the narrative. That did. That's what happened yesterday as well. Quick on your feet. That's the push down. That would shake a lot of the buyers.
Order filled.
Getting out there roughly at that point because we could find support. Little short scalp. Had to shift the narrative. Got back a little bit. What we lost. Could keep going lower, but this could be a strong point and I don't want to get wicked out and coming in. That was a risky position anyway. All right. Could have held that. And could have avoided those losses there if I flipped short, but I don't want to short right at the highs. Big kill candle right there. Huge kill candle. Huge.
Order filled.
I'm buying right there. Right at the trend line. See if we can get a bounce back roughly there. Could be completely wrong. shifting direction so quickly, but I've seen market do that yesterday as well. Up, down, up, down. So I'm just trying to play in between those ranges. A lot of volume coming through here, grabbing that liquidity. That's not looking too good there. Completely pooched and got huge liquidity out of the market right there. So maybe you got in too early, but you can never time these things. Very volatile at the moment. Good, I'm in a small position. Just 5 micros. Gotta imagine if you go in with big contracts, they say you make a lot of money too, but these moves, if you're on the wrong side and if you don't have strict stops, you're gonna lose a lot as well very quickly. It looks like we're bouncing off of here. The long trade might play out after all, but we want to come and at least go test that level. That's the key level. And we kind of seeing this little trend form. So if we're holding that, that's pretty good.
Order filled.
All right. That was a quick. Oh my goodness. Huge, huge candles.
Order filled.
Oh, wow. I messed it up. I took a last order on. I was going to do limit, but it went market with my bracket order and hit my stop loss very quickly. That was a boo-boo on my side. Secured some nice profit, but then ate that loss. That was just my boo-boo.
Order filled.
See if we can keep rallying higher.
Order filled.
Very volatile, so I don't want to get caught in a whiplash. Could go hit my profit target, but I think I'm happy with that. That was a big boo-boo on my side. I went in too quick. I wanted to put a limit order. Oh, man. But in the heat of the moment, that's what happened. I didn't FOMO. Just in the heat of the moment, I got in and it just quickly hit my stop. Market was just doing up and down. Also, if I had a limit up here, it would have gotten hit anyway because I was in a strong position. But hey, usually strong moves up means we're going to reverse pretty quickly as well. So locking that profits there wasn't a bad idea, and we'll see where this move finishes. And but market just punctured through all those levels, hey, pretty quickly. One move. Rather interesting. Very, very interesting. But all is well that ends well. You know, finishing the day green is not too bad. Crazy markets. That's what you call average true range. It's just skyrocketed pretty quickly. We're seeing these little moves here and then bam. One move. Huge, huge upside. You're on the right side. You're on the wrong side. It would have just trailed through your stop and maybe. Am I salty about that little loss there. That was just too quick. And, well, yes and no. Just reminds me that that's the human side of trading. That just these things happen. As long as you take good decisions over time, and that would just compensate for that. If that didn't happen, I was on a little win streak. Sure, I did a couple of losses, but they're pretty small compared to my wins. The risk to reward is pretty tight. That was exciting. And usually I want trading to be very boring, but stuff like this gets you going. This could be an interesting short setup, but seeing this volume in the market, you want the dust to settle. You don't want to get in the middle and get caught with your pants down like so. You're just going higher and higher. Actually, where did I get out last time? Got out 23499. So right here. Maybe I got out too early, left some points on the table, but still not reaching my profit target up there. So that I got in very late here anyway, just off of that market was pushing so hard. Come and delete this trend line, but that trend line did play a big role. This is a point where you don't know if this move's going to quickly reverse or we're going to keep continuing going higher. So be patient. Usually I would just short it here. Let's see. Do it with a small position.
Order filled.
Let's see. And continue coming lower. Go higher, I'm not very interested. And it can just quickly skyrocket. But looks like after that kill candle, we might see some sellers coming. And I went in with a small position. I want to catch that quick reversal. I don't want to catch that full drawdown. It jumps higher. It looks like we're pushing. And I don't want to be a part of it if it's pushing. Small position so I can widen my stop. Still don't want to lose much on the day. To see if we can make this day bigger. That's the whole thing. Usually big parabolic moves mean parabolic reversals. All right, I'm just going to get out. Seeing where this candle closes. Like there's strong resistance there, so you want to hold. That's my absolute limit. Set my stop. Right, nice. Just needs to push through and break these lows here. Be a valid short. Consolidates at the highs. That's not pretty good. Needs to break these lows very fast like it went up. It usually goes up fast, comes down faster. Shorts can come in very heavy, and we're on the right side. There you go. No, doesn't want to do it. Consolidation at the highs is not good. Shorts should come in heavy. If not, that's not a great sign. That means bulls are still in control at those prices.
Order filled.
I'm getting out. That was a small loser. $200, even with off of 3 contracts.
The market is
Whoa.
open.
Big push.
Order filled.
I want to short it here. Looks like we found resistance and that was just an extended move. Might be fighting the trend, but we'll find out. Very volatile today. Great day for the bulls. That's a strong resistance point. Looks like we're punching through it pretty quickly. Need a big kill candle right there. At least come back to that consolidation level. That's Powell's speech, I guess. Sellers got squeezed, so they might come in heavy here. Just a thought. All right, looks like the short's working. Need to sell off very quickly. Again, don't want any consolidation at the highs. All right, that's the kill candle. That needs to sell off too, that candle. I'll put my stop in the money. Cool. That needs to just sell off. Just being patient for that short to play out perfectly. It does. Looks like we're breaking above. Wicking out. So one last chance before it squeezes out the short.
Order filled.
Getting out there. Maybe they're fake out. I could just keep rallying. Got that move. Damn. Avoiding all the bulls. Begs the question, did I get out early? Should I let that trade run? But that's just always what happens. Yesterday I was being too patient before I came. Today I was just patient, trying to take profits. That's trading for ya. Don't want to chase my daily high for the day. 500 profit to about 200. I was a $300 loser. Last couple of trades weren't the best. Try to short it. 330. Again, very interesting point. Short, but shorts might get squeezed out today. Like we broke all those ranges there very quickly. But I don't want to be a buyer there. Absolutely not. Look at that move. Crazy. Off of one speed, probably. Gonna short it there, but a little gun shy seeing that I wanted to protect profits on the day, but that would have been a nice 40-point trade. Well, why it's not good to get attached to this P&L.
Order filled.
I'm gonna short it here, seeing the momentum dry off. Let's see if we can get a strong push down, at least at this level. Like we're doing it. That's what I was hoping here, but I squeezed so many shorts right there. Still could find good support here, but we want to break this key level and just sell off a bit and at least come down here. Find some support here. That would be an interesting point. NASDAQ likes to do that. Reverse the move, fading into the larger trend, which is a bull move today. If this drops, go. Patient with it a little bit. Good downside. Could be the push. It
Order filled.
getting out there. Oh, looks like I got stopped out. I've hit my daily trade limit. I had these rules set up on Top Step, trying these out to see if we can get a day like today, doing some analysis. What's today? Yep. Took about 10 trades, so my limit was 10 trades. Really green on the day. And a couple of losses, and that loss could have been completely prevented, would have put us on a $900 day. Looks like that trade played out as well, but I just got out quickly because I just wanted to protect profits. Here I was shorting it and looked like it was a strong bull move, so stopped me out too quickly there. But consistently, if I can keep my losses small, the profits are going to look after them and just maybe trade less a bit. And this trade's just playing out beautifully, honestly. Could have stayed in that. When did I get out? About 5:56. If I just stayed 5 more minutes in this trade, my goodness. I got out at 5:56. Can't think like that, but I gave too many points on the table. Roughly about 40 points. That would have been a $900 day. Oh well. So I was hoping for this big move right here. And I got stopped out here, got squeezed. I tried it again here, got stopped out. So when I got in here, I just wanted to secure my profits for the day. Today could have been a very nice, healthy day, but I'm just closing it out at 466. And I sized down. So let's see. Yep. I've reached my maximum limit for the day. I can't trade more. And was it. I have to respect that. Could have been way better on the management side of things. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. For anyone who's watching, if I was here, I'll just try to do this. This is my trade. Retest there, stop right here, and then try to see if we can fade the whole move, at least come to the top of this range. So that's 60 points on the downside. So this will be a trade. Very valid. 1:2, roughly. When this plays out, then it's beautiful. So let's do a trade review. What happened today? Yep, too many trades, more than I would like, but 23,820. So let's just come in and draw these just for reference. My journaling as well. 23,280. Yep, gotten too early here. Right, stop was roughly there. Never got hit, and I got out at 23314. Could have stayed longer in that trade, but as we saw, price just quickly reversed. So that was my little short piece of the puzzle there. What's this thing? Oh, okay. But right there. That was the first trade. Second trade was 2335. Long trade. Roughly there. I thought that this range is going to break and we might see a nice push up here, but I got stopped out at 2.5, roughly. A really great stop. I lost a lot on that trade, but didn't lose much. Quick stop right there. Trying to get a quick scalp up there, but I just got stopped out right here. So I tried to go in again at 325, right where I got stopped out. There. Seeing that it would just continue higher. So this was my trade again. But I got my stop filled at 317. I think that was pretty quick. Quick short move. I shorted there or not. a lot of trades, and I would like 950. What I would do on my own, but I'm trying to do it on stream just so everyone can see. 3 to 5, this was a loser. Because I entered 3 to 5, I exit 1 5. Let's do that as a loser as well. Exit. Try to be smart. Try to get in. Got out in about a minute. That was a 1-2 as well. That was a losing trade. Never saw light of day. And then we did 3-1-2. That was a winning trade, and that was a short. That's me flipping the narrative. 3-1-2. That was a great call on my end. If I didn't flip the narrative today, I would have been peached completely if I was just biased on one side. I got in at 3-1-2. Right here. Great trade. Stop was right above. And I got out at 398. Could have waited longer on that trade. Played out beautifully. But I just wanted to lock in profits for the day. Not a good habit to have, to be very frank. I need to stay in these trades a little bit longer. Right? And then after that short trade, man, quickly go through trades. But then when you come and try to record them and journal them, it was actually a lot. So 26650, 92. Roughly there. I wouldn't say that was a bad entry. I would have stopped out early if it just, came bottom of the range here. Stop was roughly in this level. Quick call, scalp. And it's saying that I got out at 23295. Who knew we'll see such a big candle? Like I got out right here. Right at that support level. That was a great trade as well. Had I known that it would just keep rallying, I would have just stayed a little bit longer. But I think that's the reality of the situation. You could just never know. Gotta take what market gives you. Be happy with it. And that's what I did today. Very happy with what market gave me, the opportunity. I could have waited. But you can never anticipate moves like these so hard. Right? And the next trade was I got in at, oh, look at that. That was a stop loss right there. I didn't take that one, but I thought it would just continue lower. That's why I got out so early here, because the major trend is going higher. And usually there'll be a lot of manipulation at the highs and consolidations. If you can zoom out, you see that there was a big push up. Now we're just in that consolidation region. So getting out here wasn't the worst thing in the world. I could have trailed my stop and let it run, but thing note for next day, we still came across profitable. Could have ended the day at about 500 or 900 if I didn't get into that quick position that messed me up, or if I could have avoided a lot of these little losses. But you never know. I wouldn't have gotten to this position if I was gun shy Also, hindsight, if I'd stayed in this position, if I didn't have a tight stop limit, because I was burnt yesterday. Yesterday I had a very strict, like a limit higher, and I kept trailing the limit higher, but that just burned me so quickly right at this point. So I was just lucky to get out early. This could have been easily on the downside, and all my stops would have slipped as well. So, well, analysis later. Let's just track the trades, right? Then the next trade, after getting out at 2950, wasn't on this earlier candle, but because this huge volume came in, everything went haywire. Okay, 429. This was the worst. That was a profit. That was pretty good. That was 9-2 trade, and then this was from 29 to 93, 429, 393. It was just a flash of a second. 429, like that. Why did I get in this trade? It broke a lot of levels pretty quickly. And historically, I know that once it's breaking all these levels, it might just keep going higher. We didn't see a pullback, but the market was ranging too quickly. So telling me that I got out at 393, or it just forced me out. That was one of my widest stops I need to work on. 93 right there. Wasn't happy with that, but I was hoping that it would just rally high at least to give me that 1:2. It never did. It went back later, but it was very out. Quickly ended everything. Me. Right, then I got in again. That paid out handsomely. That took away all the losses from previous. Also, begs the question, we did so many good trades. If we could avoid these lost ones, but that's the side of trading. Losses are inevitable, you know? As long as you can have a system where you came out profitable, these losses are inevitable. I'm still happy how today turned out, even though I could have closed the day at 900 or even more if I didn't stop trading. I didn't have a limit because today's the volume day. Today is when everyone makes money. But I had this setting on my platform where forced me to close the day. So going on tangents right now. So let me just come in and track that last trade. 23453 499. Right here, when I saw this big move come in, 453, came in that little pullback. It was a really good entry. Stop was right here, 499. Didn't wait for that candle to keep going because we saw a quick reversal here, and I've seen market do that, and I didn't want to get pooched, so I'm just happy to get out there quickly. And then there was just this chasing that short setup. Maybe came in too quickly here and gave a lot of the profits here, you know, about $330 broke my winning streak here, and this broke the winning streak, so this was all random. Couple of losers, 498 to 531. Let's do that, the short setup. It was a good entry, not gonna lie. 498 right there. I was hoping for this move. but it took me out. I waited for a little bit. 531. Roughly there. Very quick. Had I waited for a bit, it would have come to profit. I could have closed it, but then I didn't want to get caught in a move like this. This could have been easily this bit up here. So the next trade was 23570. Again, I was hoping for that trade to fall and come and test at least the top of that big demand candle or that big bull candle. But then I got stopped out at 592. So lessons, risk management was pretty tight, pretty good. Literally didn't get a lot of drawdown there. Getting out pretty quickly and keeping the risk reward pretty tight. I rarely got all of that reward because I kept getting out too quickly because I saw that markets just shrinking. But then I wasn't gun shy. Maybe I was a little trigger happy. A couple of these trades I could have halted, but then we reversed the scenario. 23,598. Roughly here. 598. Right. Stop was right here. We didn't see much drawdown on this one. Just a touch. I was targeting the highs if it ever went above, and then I got out at 56625. A little salty about that again. Maybe gotten out too early while the move completely played out in the favor. Right there. And my stop was roughly there. Top of that candle. It went higher. I don't know. Could I have done much better? What do you guys think? Took some losses, some gains. Live to trade another day. Lock me account. So had I gotten in this trade what I thought it would be a seller, I would have gotten completely pieced. I would have lost that amount as well. But had I known that I set a limit, what I should know as a trader, what I've done on my account. So I'm just managing too many things at the moment, too many accounts, and anyways. Had I stayed in that trade, but that little pullback there, if I had stayed through that pullback even, I would have easily gotten at least through here 30 points out of it, 30 or more points. But I just got about 33, would have doubled that trade. And dollar amounts, which you don't want to look at, is that would have been a $500 trade, closing this day at about $6, $7, $8, $900. So I was correct. Even if after all those blunders here, that was a big blunder on my side. But again, I went in again quick, and that could have been a blunder as well. You know, it could have gotten either way. But I did focus on A+ setups. Let's see how many A+ setups did I get. Out of the market where volume was just nothing. This was the A+ setup right at the break of trend line. This was an A+ setup right here. Right. Maybe that setup was a little too quick, hitting my stop losses. very quickly, but that could have easily rallied like so. It was good to get stop out too quickly. Gave it another go here. Thought that okay, we might coming in and might tap the highs and go higher. Wait, after 5 minutes, that didn't work out. Maybe that could have been completely prevented. Seeing that I was hoping for a nice close on the 5 minute. Man, those trades are not even showing up in the 1 minute or in the 5 minute chart because they were just too quick. That's what I need to work on. I was sitting on the 1 minute and I didn't look at the larger time frame. So everything was done on that one single candle. Let's see if they show up on the 5 minute now. Not really, because they were just 5 minutes apart, and that could have been definitely prevented. That was my bad. The heat of the moment, but you live and learn. I'm a little salty about that first trade, this one here. Had I just stayed on this one longer or trailed it, I would have missed all of that anyway. Yeah. Yep, that's where my stop was, about 20 or 30 point stops. What else am I looking at? That trade could have been held for longer if I had conviction in the setup. I knew that I have a strict stop right there. But seeing that there was a little reversal point there, I got out too quickly. Maybe staying in that played out beautifully once it took out those lows, but it could have easily reversed here like so. But instead of getting in too quick, jumping the gun on a couple of times, I would have just had more conviction here on this setup, and it played out beautifully. And I left a lot of points on the table here. Let's say I got out here, I was just 14 points. Considering if I just held it till VWAP, that would have been 20 points. If I just kept trailing the stop, I would have gotten stopped out right here. So 30 points on the table. So something to note, even with a smaller position, could have done wonders. Good things for today. I sized down right after I secured some profits. And when I saw like market rallying higher, I was going with 5 contracts and I took that big loss with 5 contracts, made it back a little bit, and then I sized down. And that was a good thing to do because these could have been bigger losses. So I could have, another good thing I did today was flipping the narrative. So I was long in these spots, but then I went short here. And then I went long here as well. Saw some drawdown come in, but maybe it was the news hit or something. Definitely it was the news hit. 9 o'clock Central Time is about 10 o'clock New York. And I could have stayed in that trade for longer, but I didn't know it was just going to shoot to the moon. Right? Who knew? News. That's what can do. And then I thought that getting in here was a good idea. As soon as it broke that level, I thought, okay, we're seeing strong volume come in. We might see a continuation. But as soon as I got in, it hit my stop. Right? And I didn't let it deter me from getting in again right at that point. And that was a nice big winner. This as well, I could have just trailed the stop in the money and I left some money on the table here. Maybe I could have gotten a 15 points out of that 20-point move. But I saw a lot of rejection come in this spot, and so I wasn't being greedy. Also seeing yesterday I got burned, not securing profits, so there you go. I didn't add to any position today. That was another thing I did. usually up here when it was breaking below, I wanted to really add to it, but I didn't want to jeopardize it just going higher and hitting my stop with a full position. But a thing to note that me adding to a position would have maximized that move, and I could have been done with the day then and there. And then I could have played all of this move with a very small size. Right, and then this move here, I was on the right side. I got in at a good spot, right? I thought that this big sell-off is going to come back here because we were consolidating. What I could have done better is I had a feeling that it's not like pushing down immediately like so. I could have gotten out early or at break even, but I waited. Still, didn't take much drawdown on it, just about 30 points, and 30 points is looking like a lot, but volume just increased. The average true range, like up here, volume was small, so my risk was like 9 points, maybe 30 points for up here, but I just knew that I could have easily gotten out if it wasn't following what I wanted to do. 20 points, so roughly 20 to 30 points to take about 35 points to 40 points. You could call it 1:1.5, 1:1.25, and I've just shifted that strategy now, securing profits quickly. But days like this, I could have held longer and would have paid handsomely. Lesson learned. Am I going to change my strategy? Perhaps not, but I can definitely leave a few runners on the table. I can do that, securing, taking some off the table, and then leaving some runners to do the job, and that would have paid out handsomely as well. Here, again, this short right at the highs, I saw that clear resistance level, and seeing that yesterday we were respecting those resistance levels and sellers were coming in hard. So I shorted right here, that red candle or that green candle, to get a nicer entry. Entry was good. Stand by this trade. It started working as well. Completely. I was in the money about 28 points. Again, I could have closed it there, or I could have just taken some position off or just put stop in the money. I didn't do that. I wanted this trade to play out. It came back up and it stopped me out at about 20 points. That was the loser that kind of hurt me just a bit. $132, right? So we lost 33 points here, 22 points here, but off of 3 contracts. So I just got out quickly. That was good trade management there. Again, came back here with conviction, and boom, that trade played out. My take profit was right at the bottom of this range because I thought that, okay, it could quickly reverse like it did here, and it won't give a lot of time, and I wanted to secure profits quickly. But long behold, it came and rejected here, and we just kept selling down. I could have caught at least 15, 20 points out of this move, making the day to about $900, but that's okay. You live and learn. Then we saw this nice big trend coming up. Yeah, which is in conjunction with these 2 points. Had I took a short here, like hypothetical, didn't go in a position, but I had a position drawn up, and I got stopped out here about 30 points. Then when it dropped back up below, I would have waited. After this continuation, you can easily see that, okay, market's forming this little trend line. That means I could have gotten a trade here if my account wasn't blocked, but I'm trying to hone in my discipline. These reps are going to make a huge difference over time. This would have been my other trade. Stop right below the trend line and targeting at least the highs here, which is roughly there. And that would have stopped me out break even, or I could have gotten at least 28 points out of it. But seeing that it just came below, and you know, if I just put stop in the money, seeing that it broke that trend line there, I would have gotten out. So my stop would have been right there, break of trend line. So that's about 30 points and losing about 20. That would have been a nice little scalp. I didn't take it. Okay. Another little scalp would have been, let's say I saw that, okay, it's finding some support here. Cool. But it's also finding a lot of resistance here, like so. Right? So as soon as it found rejection came below, came back up higher, I would have just shorted it here on this green candle. So this is the trade that's playing out currently. Obviously, I didn't take it, but easier said than done. But this would have been my trade here. Coming and targeting like the lows here at least. And keeping a very tight risk, about 20 points. So that's 1:2. That's going to play out. If it does, that would be a great trade. Another trade that I was following was, let's say if we found support here, and I can draw, ignoring those wicks, I can draw a clear trend line. Again, this break of trend line structure here gives me confluence to get in. So there are a couple of confluences going here. There's a resistance level and it's a break of trend. So also coming back, and let's say I only had these two spots right here, which I did. I was too busy trying to draw other things, but right, when I see market coming up and dropping here, that's where my position would have been, right there. So let's come and draw that right there and stop like right below the trend line as we talked about, and then targeting at least the top of the range. And that would have played out beautifully, about 40 points. So this is when you're in the rhythm of the market, when price action is solid, when momentum wants to continue, when you see prices hold a certain trend line, a certain place, this is when you want to trade. This is not over trading. As scalpers, we are bound to trade many trades, quick in and out of markets, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe an hour. We're not swinging it. So if I was a swing trader, which I have been, so that could have turned into a stop. You never know. But I would have trailed the stop, break even, protecting my profits. So let's say that would have been a break even trade right there. Okay. So for all my swing traders, we love swing trading. Anybody who thought that, okay, market's coming back here, who bought here, market rallied up, and it came down below this big shift, at least from here, that's where their stops would have gotten hit. Market came all the way below, and this big, and then again it tapped this level. So we all know that this is a very key level, this one, right? It could have easily gotten below, but anybody who bought in these spots here, let me just quickly draw, right? They're handsomely in the money. This market just rallied about, let's say, if you have averaged out here, about 400 points. So that's, let's say, even if you're in with, not going to be full porting and going with larger contracts, but even with 2 contracts, 400 points, about $3,200. And let's say if you have 4 contracts, or if you have 2 minis, right, then you're looking about $32,000. That's why they say trading or markets are so lucrative. If you time it right, then there's nothing like it. And if you manage your risk, if you learn to just walk away or take those small base hits in terms of losses, and you're not scared of those losses because you know that your risk to reward and everything else is just going to play out, then I think that's the way to go. And everyone has a different way of doing it. There's no right or wrong as long as you come out profitable at the end. So, saying that, looks like that trade's playing out, but we got stopped out break even, so that's a scratch one. That could easily come down below here. That's why my strategy is just taking hits again and again, because you never know which candle is just going to be consolidating or which candle is going to get volume and push prices down. It looks like we're consolidating here. Another trade would be, because we broke that trend line here as well. Now I can see another trend coming through. Here's the trend. So once it breaks that little trend there, this is my trade right there. And my stop's just going to be there. So if that was a scratch trade, I would have taken this trade any day. See if it plays out once it breaks the trend line. Saying that, thanks kindly for watching. Have a great weekend. Hope to see everyone next week. Bye.